This is going to be a rather informal video. It's just somewhat of an announcement to say, hey, we're doing this, and hey, there's going to be more to come in some form. Maybe a video just like this, it may be some live videos. I'm not exactly sure yet. But it's also to help familiarize anybody who wants to participate who's not exactly familiar with some of the movements and some of the techniques we use in yoga. So without further ado, I'd like you to come to your mat, assuming you have one. Being on the floor, in your living room, on a carpet, that's all just fine. But usually you want a little bit of padding so that you don't quite hurt your knees if you're in a tabletop position or something that's going to have your knee down. It also helps grip the floor a bit. And as you see that I'm practicing barefoot, you don't necessarily have to. It just helps to move the bones around in the feet, also helps grip the floor a little bit better. So without any more introduction, go ahead and come to a comfortable seat. It doesn't have to be a fancy seat, you don't have to be cross-legged, it just has to be upright and comfortable. And once you find that upright seat, take your hands to your hips and just begin to rock a bit left and right. And then start to roll the pelvis forward and back. And then come to a stopping point where the lowest point of your spine, the lumbar, is about as vertical and upright as you can make it. And then placing your hands on the top sides of the thighs, maybe palms facing up. Take an in-breath and roll your shoulders forward and up towards the ears. And as you exhale, drop the shoulders down the back. Take another slow, deep inhale, and as you do, press the back sides of the hands down into the thighs to see if you can open up the chest any further. And as you exhale, soften. Maybe allow the eyes to close here, or take a soft gaze down at the floor. And then see if you can draw the tailbone down just a little bit and raise the occipital ridge. That's the bony protrusion at the back of the skull up just a little bit to find more length in your spine. And once you have all those alignments, just allow your body to soften into the position. And start to find your breath. Bring all of your attention to your breathing and begin to slow it down. Lengthening out your inhales and your exhales. Once the breath is slow, allow it to begin to deepen, so that every time you inhale, that breath falls a little deeper into your belly. And the exhales become a little bit more complete. Every round of breath, slowing down and deepening. Allowing your body to begin to soften. And we're going to begin to work our breath up into a breathing technique called Dirga Pranayama. So with your next in-breath, drop the breath all the way down into the belly and let the belly swell. From there, letting the breath rise up into the chest, ribs expanding. From the ribs, taking the breath all the way up to the throat. And exhale completely. We're going to do that about 5 more times. So inhale brings the breath down into the belly. Then up into the chest, all the way to the collarbones, and exhale fully. 4 more times through. Every Every in-breath, a complete breath in, from the bottom to the top. And every exhale, a complete breath out. Let's take this through one last time. Make it as big as you possibly can. Exhaling as completely as you possibly can. And then release the breathing technique. And just notice the effects. Notice how that made you feel. Notice if you're a bit more in your body, a bit more in this space or that space. Notice how the head feels. And take a nice slow deep breath in and sweep the arms up over the head. As you exhale, drop your hands down in front of the chest. And if you'd like, take a moment here to set an intention for your practice. What do you feel like you might need to get out of your practice of yoga today? And once you have that intention, that idea in mind, if you'd like, you can seal it with a little bow to the fingertips. And from there, just allow the chin to rise level with the ground, and allow the eyes to open. Take a breath in here, and reach your arms forward. Round the upper back, drop your chin down to the chest. And as you exhale, draw your elbows back, opening up the chest. Let your fingers float up, squeeze the shoulder blades, and lift the chin. Take an in-breath to drop your left hand down on the ground on the left side, reaching your right arm up. And as you exhale, side bend to the left. Take an in-breath to float your right hand all the way down on the right side, letting the left arm float up. And exhale, side bend right. Take an in-breath to bring your left hand behind your left hip, right hand behind the right hand. And as you exhale, press your belly and your chest forward, lifting the chin. Take another in-breath, round back and reach forward. Exhale, draw the elbows back, fingers float up, shoulder blades squeeze, chin lifts. Take an in-breath to bring your left hand down, right arm up. And exhale, side bend to the left. Take an inhale to drop your right hand down to the right side, left arm floats up. And exhale, side bend to the right. And take an in-breath to bring your left hand behind your left hip, right hand behind the right. And as you exhale, press the belly and the chest forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together and lift the chin. We're gonna do that one more time. Take an in-breath, reach the arms forward, round back. Exhale, draw the elbows back, shoulder blades together, fingers float up, chin lifts. Take an in-breath, left hand down on the ground on the left side, right arm up, and exhale, side bend left. Inhale the right hand down on the right side, left arm floats up, exhale, side bend right. Inhale, left hand behind the left hip, right hand behind the right, and exhale. Good, now just come to a neutral spine. And make your way into a tabletop position. So placing your wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Take an in-breath to tuck the toes under. And as you exhale, press down into your hands and your feet. Send the hips up into the air for a downward facing dog. From here, pedal out the knees. Let the hips sway back and forth. And give a shake out to the head. Come back to center, and with an in-breath, look up towards the hands. And as you exhale, step forward, feet meeting the hands at the front of the back. Take an in-breath, come halfway up and flatten your back. And exhale, deepen into the fold. Doing that twice more. Inhale, come halfway up and flatten out. And exhale, deepen into the fold. Take an in-breath, come up halfway, and once again, flatten out your back. And exhale, deepen into the fold. We're gonna hang here for a little bit. Hands can hang towards the mat, or you can grab opposite elbows. You can let the knees bend. One bends while the other one straightens. Upper body can sway. Let your head hang loose. And breathe easy. From here, release the hands down. Take a little bend to the knees. Draw an in-breath and sweep the arms all the way up over the head. And exhale your hands to the chest. Find a focal point with the eyes here. Feet about hips width distance apart, so right underneath your hip points. Spread your toes nice and wide. Shift your weight into your right foot. And take an in-breath, draw up your left knee. As you exhale, step that foot behind you about 1 full leg's length and land on the ball mount of your foot, pressing the back heel straight back. Take an in-breath and sweep the arms up over the head. Shoulders relax. Pinkies rotate in towards one another. Back heel presses straight back to straighten out that leg. And breathe down into the belly. Now with your next exhale, drop your hands down to your chest. Take an in-breath to shift your weight forward, and exhale to step up. Take an in-breath, sweep your arms up over the head, and exhale your hands down to the chest. Shift your weight into your left foot. Inhale up the right knee, and exhale, step back. Again, landing on the ball mount of the foot, pressing that back heel straight back. Take an in-breath to sweep the arms up over the head. Shoulders relax. Pinkies rotate in towards one another. Breath into the belly. Steady breaths in and out. And with your next exhale, drop your hands down to your chest. Take an in-breath to shift your weight forward. And exhale to step up. Drop your hands down to your hips. Separate your feet as wide as the mat, or wider. Take an in-breath to sweep your arms up over the head. And as you exhale, drop your hands down behind the back. Interlace the fingers here. Take an in-breath to squeeze the shoulder blades together and open up the chest. And as you exhale, fold halfway forward. Take an in-breath, flatten out your back, lengthen out the spine. And as you exhale, deepen into the fold as deeply as feels comfortable. Release any tension from the head, letting the head hang. Continue to squeeze the shoulder blades together and breathe into the belly. And with your next exhale, drop your hands down towards your tailbone. Take a little bend to the knees and inhale to come all the way back up. Now take your hands back to your hips. Step the feet back to the center of the mat. Take an in-breath, sweep your arms up. And exhale, fold again. Draw a breath in, come up halfway and flatten out your back. Exhale, deepen into the fold. And again, inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, deepen into the fold. Again, one more time, inhale, halfway up. Exhale, deepen into the fold and hang. Once again, hands can hang towards the mat, or you can take those ragdoll arms by grabbing opposite elbows. Breathe deep and steady. And on your next exhale, release your hands down Take a bend in the knees if you need to, but plant the hands down onto the ground. And then step both feet back to try to make an upside down V shape into downward facing dog. Spread your fingers wide, pointing the middle finger straight ahead. Rolling your weight towards the thumbs and the pointer fingers. Roll the biceps out, away from the ears, like you're trying to turn your armpits towards the face. And then take a bend in the knees. Nice deep bend, and flatten out your back, sending the hips up as high as you possibly can. Take an in-breath here. And as you exhale, press your heels down towards the earth, letting the crown of the head point towards the thumbs. And then with another in-breath, see if you can lengthen out through the neck, reaching the crown of the head closer towards the thumbs. And breathe easy. Now with your next exhale, bring your knees all the way down to the ground. Knees can stay together or you can take them wide. Send your hips back towards your heels, dropping your head down towards the mat. Arms can continue to reach forward or you can take them around, reaching towards the feet. But breathe easy. Try to allow the entire body to soften. And now begin to make your way back up into a seated position. Taking your legs straight out in front of you. Take a bend in your left knee. Slide that foot in towards the bum, and then drop the knee out to the side. Take your hands down onto the ground, framing your right knee. Or you can use a strap if you have one, placing it around the ball and onto that foot. But either way you do it, you're going to take an in-breath here and lengthen out this way. Make sure your chest is turning towards those toes. And as you exhale, keeping your back flat and your chin lifted, begin to send your belly towards the thigh. And take another in-breath here. See if you can find more length to your spine. Keeping the chin lifted away from the chest, back as flat as possible. Exhale and see if you can sink a little deeper, not forcing anything. Take another in-breath, see if you can find any more length to your spine. And as you exhale, release into it. Allow the back to round, allow the head to hang forward. And most importantly, breathe easy. With your next in-breath, begin to make your way back up. And help out your left knee, bring it upright. Step that left foot across to the other side of your right leg. And that bottom right leg can stay straight, or you might even wrap it around so that the heel is next to the bone. Take your right hand onto that front knee. Draw a breath in and sweep up your left arm. As you exhale, turn the chest towards the knee and drop your left hand down onto the ground behind you. Take an in-breath to reach your right arm forward. And as you exhale, hook your elbow around that front knee. If you've got space for it, you might even pop the elbow to the outside. But take an in-breath here, press into your back hand, find length to your spine. And as you exhale, deepen into the twist, starting from the very base of the spine, working your way up. Once again, hold and breathe. Notice any tension you might be holding in the feet or the legs. Notice if you're gritting your teeth. Notice if you're furrowing your brow. Breathe easy. breath in, come back to center. Straighten out your right leg. And then straighten out your left leg. Take a bend in your right knee, sliding that foot back in, dropping the right knee out to the side, and then hands to the ground, framing the left knee, or using that strap. Take an in-breath, find length through your spine. Again, turning your chest towards the toes, chin stays lifted. Exhale brings the belly towards the thigh as you begin to lean forward. Take an in-breath, see if you can find more length in the spine. Reach the crown of the head away from the tailbone. Exhale, deepen into the fold. And one more time, in-breath, find length. Exhale, let go. Rounding into it, releasing all the doing, all the trying. Let everything soften and breathe easy. Begin to slowly make your way back up. Help out your right knee. Step that foot to the other side of your left leg. And again, bottom leg can stay straight just as it is, or you can wrap that foot around towards the bone. This time you're going to take your left hand onto that front knee. Take an in-breath to sweep your right arm up. And as you exhale, turning to the right, place your right hand down on the ground behind you. Take an in-breath to reach your left arm forward. And again, either hook that knee with the elbow or pop the elbow to the outside of the knee. Take an in-breath, find length to your spine. And exhale, deepen your twist. Start from the bottom, make your way to the top, and breathe deep. With your next breath in, coming back to center, unwinding the legs, setting the soles of the feet down onto the ground, and then make your way down onto your back leg. Keep the knees bent and the soles of the feet down. Release the arms out to the sides, and begin to windshield wiper the knees back and forth. Slowly with the breath. So the inhales bring the knees up, and the exhales drop the knees to the left or the right. And then from here, you're just going to step yourself out into your final relaxation posture that we call Shavasana. Typically that means taking your left foot out towards the left corner of the mat, right foot out towards the right with the arms out to the sides, palms facing up. But really you can take any shape to the body that's going to allow you to release all the tension of the body. Just find something that's comfortable to you. A lot of people like to take the feet wide and let the knees drop together to relieve a little tension in the low back. But again, you can take any posture that you want as long as it's going to release all the tension from the body. Take a deep breath in, and let it go through the mouth. And once again, draw another deep breath down into the belly. And let it go through the mouth. And one last time. Slow, deep in breath. And release through the mouth. Now you can allow yourself to stay here in this final relaxation posture for as long as you want. Typically, we stay there for about 5 to 7 minutes, but this is the end of the video, and you can take as long as you like. Thank you for sharing this practice today. Namaste.